curiosity.
You should have the whole
Yes.
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 Like a child.
Renaissance hat.
Call me a child already.
We're
Been doing this for too many
marriage.
She's not
between child and that kind of.
We're ready.
He's a childish child.
We're on.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey?
Here.
Mr. Bateman?
Here.
Goodyear?
Here.
Mr. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Ori?
Here.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Here.
Mr. Ping?
Here.
Welcome, everyone. With us tonight, we have Director of Finance Mark Medler, Assistant City Manager Chris Weinich, Clerk of Council Mr. Clark, City Manager Dave Kennedy, City Solicitor Joe Braun, our Chief of Police Michael Gabrielson, former Mayor Rob Weisgerber, former Councilman Kent Blair, and Todd Osborne. I think that's everyone. So welcome, everyone. We will start. Mr. Weisgerber.
Good evening. Rob Weisgerber, 240 East Loveland Avenue. Thank you for allowing me to address council tonight. What I'm here for is a discussion around Loveland University. As Mayor said, I was former mayor. I was on council for 24 years, vice mayor as well. Mostly served on just about every committee or commission, worked closely with a lot of the staff as well, which puts me in kind of a unique position to help be a director and lead Loveland University. So I'm glad I was able to take that over for the city. We were asked this year to move Loveland University to Spring to deconflict it with the police academy and a few other activities that go on. So we did move Loveland University to the Spring. So it's kind of cramped timetable to make sure we have enough participants. I think we have about 12 currently. I really want to try to get to that 20 mark, so we're 8 to 10 individuals short to try and get that class. Our first class will start on Wednesday, 26. The classes will be held every Wednesday from 6 p.m. with a light dinner through 9 o'clock. And we'll talk a little bit about what the class does. It's adult learning, and so it's experience-based. You learn by doing, and tremendous amount of help and support by staff, as well as other community leaders for these classes. This is open to residents, people who work in Loveland. Again, whether you're a property owner, whether you're active in the community, if you're in the schools as a teacher, members of the chamber, folks that are part of the Loveland Historical Society and Museum that help support some of our history, our commission members, their families. I really am trying to get the word out. So I've provided everyone tonight, and I have a few extras for people in the audience, some challenge tokens that I put together. And you get to keep these if you find somebody to go to class. It's actually just a promotional reminder. They are not magnetic, but they will hopefully serve as a reminder for you to ask a friend, a neighbor, a loved one. I have had a couple people that had been former council members tell me how much they learned over and above what they knew on council by going through this, because it is so much more behind the scenes. And you get to spend time with staff, whether it's the chief of police, Mark Medler with our finance. We spend time with the schools to understand that interconnection. We do have the Little Miami Conservancy, where we can talk about the health of the river and the balance of development and protecting the river, right? There's a lot of issues people have around development and how we protect or how we view and the health of the river in the community. We spend time with Jason Brown Knight down at the Conservancy. He's phenomenal. The fire department, I had one person tell me it was on his bucket list to actually have donned all of the fire gear and go help put out a fire. It was, it's some mock fire at the training tower, but it was one of the things that was on his bucket list to do. It's an experience you wouldn't get anywhere else. Not that you want it, but some people do. Public Works. We really spend a lot of time with Public Works. You get to plan snow removal routes. You think that's pretty easy. It's not so easy. Water. How does our water system work when we have water main breaks? What does that do? We just had the one down here in East Loveland. It shut down water to a lot of the east side of the city. The crews are great in getting it fixed. But how is our water system set up, and why is that so important to the community? Mark does spend a lot of time on the budget, and we also will have, so you have to understand where the dollars come from, where the dollars go, the training that the police officers do and their equipment. It doesn't just fall off a tree, right? We don't have special levies just to do those kind of things. It comes from our general fund. So we spend time doing that. We have a mock council meeting to try and get the class to understand the importance. When you sit behind the table up here, the Diaz, of trying to discern whether a development is good because it brings a lot of money and development for the community, but it pushes our zoning. Where do you draw the line? Right? It's a different perspective, and you all know that because you're looking at how to do this for the city. So I'm asking everyone here, one, as a reminder, we moved to spring. I'm asking you to find somebody to apply. All the details are on the city webpage, lovelandoh.gov, and there's a specific location for Loveland University and the application. So that's my ask of everyone tonight, to please get someone to apply so we can move the program Healthy Spring and continue it moving forward. Be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Mr. Hart?
How many total sessions is it?
10 sessions, so it's 10 weeks. And so this proposed schedule, well, we start at the Loveland Historical Society and Museum on Wednesday evening, the 26th, and we'll have some volunteers to help go through the museum. We then go through the police department on April 2nd, the Loveland Sims Fire Department on April 9th, planning and zoning. We have a session to develop go through a development, understand our zoning code on the 16th. Public Works is on April 23rd. Council and Finance is April 30th. Loveland Schools is on the May 7th. Little Miami Conservancy is May 14th. Try to move that back so you're not wading into the river when it's still really cold. Loveland Stage Company for the Arts on the 21st, and our graduation would be May 28th.
Okay.
And that should be on the webpage.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
What's happening? And was not able to submit it because I couldn't post a picture of myself.
Did you bring it with you?
No.
Okay. We'll talk.
Oh, heavens. Who would want one? Anyway, I'm curious why a picture is necessary.
We put together a directory for the class. A directory? So when you go to the class, who are your classmates? You have a directory, picture and name and background. So it's just,
I thought maybe
Is it?
we'd have own language.
no. Otherwise I couldn't teach.
Actually, I sent an email. I need to-
Yeah, that was for me. That was me. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I
All right. Thank you, Mr. Weisgerber.
was just burning your time up.
All right. Ken Bottom, open forum.
Well, you'll all be glad to know I'm not coming here tonight to talk about traffic on Wall Street. That's all I ever talk about here. I have a new issue that I don't quite understand about we've lived here now 9 years, and about 5 years ago, I started noticing some golf carts around in downtown, which appealed to us. And so I went online to the state of Ohio and thought I understood the requirements for a golf cart in a community, but I did not. Anyway, I thought I understood it, and I went out and purchased a golf cart for $4,000. And then I got the list of requirements. I had to change the title, of course. I had to go to the license bureau. I had to get licensed. The license bureau informed me that they could not issue a license until I took the golf cart to the police station and had it inspected for safety. I did that. My golf cart passed. They gave me a certificate of compliance. I got my license plates. I bought my car under you have to insure it just like a car. And I have been driving this golf cart around Loveland now for over 4 years. Downtown, in my neighborhood. I've never had a ticket or a suggestion that it wasn't legal, but I found out yesterday that they're not legal in Loveland, and that Loveland is issuing citations for driving them on the streets. So this is all news to people that thought golf carts were legal here. My complaint is that Terrace Park and Milford both have approved golf carts for their communities, and I guess I would encourage Loveland to do that now that a half a dozen of us have bought golf carts and thought we were complying, and we're not, and now they're issuing tickets to a $75 ticket. And I'm hoping as a solution, council will consider approving golf carts for Loveland as Milford and Terrace Park did. And I'm wondering, we have a situation here where the restaurant Roadies has a 6-passenger golf cart that they haul people around on. Is that also illegal? Are they going to be ticketed? I think we need some clarification on where this whole thing stands. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have a review and approval of the minutes from the February 25th meeting. Are there any changes, additions?
I'll make a motion to approve the February 25th meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, next we need a motion to open the public hearing regarding the expansion of the Loveland South Community Entertainment District.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Now we need a motion to close the public hearing regarding the expansion of the Loveland South Community Entertainment District.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, this is the CED we have talked about several times,
Yes.
correct? Does anyone have any further questions regarding this resolution?
I just have one question.
Yes, Mr. Bateman.
This is the second CED, just expanding it, correct?
Yes.
So my question is, do we know, or have we issued any really, so far as I understand, the prime and immediate benefit is the access to liquor licenses. Do you know if we've granted any in any of the existing CEDs up to this point?
No.
Okay.
In either of the two.
In either of the two, yeah. And this expansion is in large part meant to potentially initiate that very request.
The expansion is to help guide largely the annexed property away from a residential use and make it more viable for an entertainment use. That's the primary reason why we're doing this.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Read the resolution, please.
Resolution approving the expansion of the Loveland South Community City of Loveland 43.8.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Resolution 26 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Kennedy?
This project, this resolution before council would increase the total contract cost for the East Loveland Bridge project. City Council approved the contract for the East Loveland Bridge on July 25th, 2023 via Resolution 2023-77 to JTM Smith with a maximum all funds in of $2,167,000. The project included funding from the city, Claremont County Engineers Office, Metropolitan Sewer District, and the Ohio Public Works Commission. It was one of the most comprehensive projects done in probably last decade within the city, along with replacing the oldest bridge in Claremont County at the time. It continued council's connectivity with sidewalks amongst our neighborhoods, corrected longstanding stormwater issues on East Loveland, and replaced a failing sanitary sewer main throughout the entire project. This project, as the residents in that area knew, did not start until January of 14 due to need to relocate utilities. The project was also difficult for our residents because the detour was, by its very nature, extensive, is an understatement. One of the problems that caused in the project, and the best way to describe it is the ditch line, and I'll do this quickly, but the plan was that this project would have a single ditch line for the sanitary sewer line and a single ditch line for the storm sewer lines. While digging, and Scott Wisby was on site every day, all the ditches failed. They expanded. They kept having to dig deeper, kept having to dig wider. They collapsed, and everything was doubled and tripled. Ultimately, at the end of the day, one extremely large ditch was built, and both laterals were both sanitary and the stormwater were put in that main. So the project has been complete since November. Because of what is involved with the ditch line, that has to do with cutting, excavating, fill, and blacktop. All legitimate expenses, but that resulted in a change order that took us $248,000 over the maximum cost. Since some of that was done that was related to the Claremont County Bridge, but the vast majority of that was related to the extensive work needed for the ditch line. 95 to 98%. Claremont County clearly played the overcost. Chris and I then worked with Metropolitan Sewer District, not pretty much ongoing since then, to convince them that the ditch line was also related to the sanitary, that these costs should be split between the city and the Metropolitan Sewer District. Ultimately, they agreed. They increased their total cost from $266,519 to $397,961. That made it almost about an even split between the two. At the end of the day, a $2,237,233 project, the city that benefits our residents with all four components. Our residents drive the bridge, our fire trucks drive over the bridge. Those stormwater issues, Mr. Weisgerber will tell you, have been longstanding for years. And obviously we've had connectivity, and no one wants to live in a community with failing sanitary. We ended up paying 14.59%. We were obviously the lowest payer into the project. Claremont County paid $802,000. OPWC grant paid $710. Metropolitan Sewer District paid $397, and the city paid $326. So while I continue to apologize to those residents when I run into them, this is still one heck of a project that was done, and I really think at the end of the day, we found a viable solution. Chris and I did, to get this settled, and if council passes a resolution, we will make the final payment tomorrow.
All right. Any questions, comments? Mr. Bateman?
Just 2 points. Number one, just in keeping with, as I've done throughout this project, I will be abstaining from this vote due to the proximity this project had to my residents. But also with the benefit of abstention, I will add a little commentary to this in the sense that this was a bear of a project, and it seems to keep the gift that keeps on giving, coming back from beyond the calendar year this year. But it is a tremendous achievement, and I want to extend my thanks to everyone that had a hand in completing this, from the organizing body and the financing of this to the contractors and all of the different parties. It was you're right, Mr. Kennedy, when you described the significant challenges that came with the ditch digging. That was the brunt of the delay, and it was when the project kind of went to a sort of a standstill. So equally significant, I think, is the ability to work with MSD to take ownership of the majority of those overages. So again, my appreciation for all of the work with this project, and I'm glad to see it in the rear view. Just as glad as I am to see the nice sidewalks and new bridge when I on my way home. So thanks, and again, just a reminder, I won't be voting.
Any other comment? Mr. Hart?
I would just say that when I first saw it, when the packet first came out and I saw this on here, my inclination was to vote against this because I was hacked off about how the project had gone. It was a mess from the beginning to the end. But after a lengthy conversation with Mr. Kennedy, who reminded me of some things, and not the least of which was our Public Works Director, Scott Wisby's take on how things went, who I trust without exception. Things inclusive of not charging us for overtime in order to get traffic going. Things that only charging for days where weather was something we couldn't control, or weather kept the people from working. And again, a myriad of other things that we talked through in our phone call. It does seem like this is the right thing to do, and treating people the right way, because we do own portions project, and things were outside of our control and outside of the contractor's control. It's certainly right to make sure that we're doing this. And I do appreciate the effort from Mr. Weinich and Mr. Kennedy to work with outside entities like MSD in Claremont County, to them put in a larger portion and take their piece of it as well. So my appreciation to staff for their due diligence during the project, and then continued work after the project to make sure that all parties are being treated fairly.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, just is the project fully complete now? There's nothing else anticipated.
The project's been complete since November. That's basically how long Chris and I have been working on this. We've had a couple meetings to go over some items. There were some calculation issues on the bridge, and that the county had to work with them till we got the final number. Again, the bridge is probably the biggest component of that project. During the bridge inspection prior to that project opening up, indications were that during the next inspection it likely would be decreased to a level where the fire trucks would not have been able to drive over it. So that was
Okay. Any further comment? Read the resolution, please.
Resolution increasing the total project cost for the East Loveland Bridge project.
Call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Phelps,
Yes.
Mr. Ping,
Yes.
Mayor Bailey,
Yes.
Mr. Bateman,
Abstain.
Mr. Goodyear,
Yes.
Mr. Hart,
Yes.
Mr. Ori.
Yes.
Resolution 27 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Next is a resolution approving the Claremont County 911 plan. I am the municipal elected official representative on that committee. And the only changes I believe that we made to the plan this year were somehow 2 small townships had been inadvertently left off of the plan. So there's no changes from other than that from last year's version of this. So the Claremont County Board of Commissioners and the entity that is responsible for this, I've asked every township and every village and city to pass this plan again. So that's what this is. Anybody have any questions about it? You read the resolution, please.
Resolution approving the Claremont County 911 plan.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ping, Mayor Bailey? Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Resolution 28 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mr. Medler.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. For you this evening, we have two ordinance assessing liens for unpaid utility bills. One is for Hamilton County, one's for Claremont County. The Hamilton County item, last quarter there were 10 properties on this list. Now they're down to 2, so that's good. We had some properties that I believe were going through court issues, and those have been resolved. The Claremont County, last time there was 1, and there remains 1. As usual, we ask this to be approved as an emergency.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Go ahead and read the first ordinance.
Ordinance assessing liens for unpaid utility bills, property in Hamilton County owed to the city of Loveland and declaring an emergency.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Ordinance 29 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Read the next ordinance, please.
Ordinance assessing liens for unpaid utility bills on property in Claremont County owed to the city of Loveland and declaring an emergency.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Ordinance 30 is adopted by a vote of 7-0.
Mrs. Clark.
Give me a second. It's that time of year again when council nominates people for the Business Enhancement Award and the Lewis G. Rockwood Community Award. In your packet, the memo gives you a list of all the past recipients for both awards. We're asking that at the next meeting, prior to the next meeting, you submit your nominations. Then you'll be able to select the winners at April 8th meeting and awards presented at the April 22nd meeting.
Very good. Does anybody have any questions, comments? All right. Upcoming announcements. Fire hydrant flushing. The Loveland Sims Fire Department will be flushing fire hydrants over the next 4 weeks as part of routine maintenance. This process helps maintain water quality, extends the life of water mains and hydrants, and identifies any system concerns. If you notice discolored water, run your cold water tap for 5 to 10 minutes to clear the lines. Spring brush collection will take place from March 17th through March 31st. To ensure pickup, please place your brush at the curb by March 16th. And I think there are requirements for how that's supposed to be bundled and that. You can find that on our website, what those are. Loveland University, as Mr. Weisgerber told us, don't miss your chance to join Loveland University. All council members have been given their job. Find someone to join it. Classes begin March 26th. Last city flag contest. Local artists are invited to submit designs for the city flag contest. The deadline is March 31st for submissions. Details and contest rules can be found on the city's website. Anyone have any other announcements? How about a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Goodyear?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Ori?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Ping?
Yes.
Mayor Bailey?
Yes.
Mr. Bateman?
Yes.
You voted no?
No, I said yes, but I was